Hey there, island dreamers, locals, and anyone craving a slice of paradise. Welcome back, or welcome for the first time, to the Fun in Key West podcast, where the vibe is always laid back, the stories are salty, and the drinks, well, they're definitely frozen. I'm your host, Michelle O'Connor, your unofficial tour guide to the Concord public. Whether you're planning your first trip, your fifth trip, or you're just daydreaming about trading the cubicle for the ocean breeze, you are in the right place. Here's the deal. This podcast is your insider's guide to all things Key West. We're talking where to eat, hello, conch fritters and key lime pie, where to drink, spoiler alert, there will be rum, where to stay, and all the quirky, wonderful things that make Key West the one-of-a-kind paradise we all love. Plus, we'll keep you up to date on the latest happenings, festivals, events, maybe even the occasional Hemingway lookalike sighting. And just to keep things spicy, we'll be bringing on some amazing guests now and then, locals, business owners, and people who know the island like the back of their sandy hand. So grab your flip-flops, pour yourself a cold one, and let's escape to the island state of mind together, whether you're tuning in from your hammock or your commute, while wishing it was a hammock. We've got all the Key West goodness coming your way. Thanks for being here. It's going to be a lot of fun in Key West. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome to the Fun in Key West podcast. I am so glad that you are here. Today we're talking all things Key West in July. And let me just say up front, July in Key West is not for the faint of heart, but in the best possible way. It's hot, it's festive, it's a little sweaty, okay, a lot sweaty. But there's a very good chance you'll find yourself eating key lime pie, watching fireworks over the water, and standing next to someone who looks an awful lot like Ernest Hemingway. Full disclosure, I'm a little biased about July. It's my birthday month. Yep, I'm a 4th of July baby. So fireworks basically feel like they're throwing me a party. But bias aside, I honestly think July in Key West has a whole personality of its own. So here's what we're getting into today. The Key Lime Pie Festival, 5 days of pie, people, pie. The 4th of July, Hemingway Days with those glorious lookalikes and the world's most delightful running of the bulls, and Lobster mini season for my fellow water lovers. Plus, I'll give you the real talk on the weather, what to pack, and how to survive the humidity without melting into a puddle on Duval Street. Grab something cold to drink, find a spot under a fan, and let's dive in.
Welcome to Fun in Key West, where every day feels like a mini fest. Grab a drink, take it slow. We'll show you where the locals go. Food, fun, and stories to tell. Hidden gems you know so well. Your Key West experts here to say it's fun in Key West every day.
Welcome to another episode of the Fun in Key West podcast. I am so glad that you are here. We are talking all things Key West in July. And I know July in Key West is absolutely not for the faint of heart, but in the best possible way. It's hot, yes. It's festive, yes. It's a little sweaty, yes. And there's a very good chance that you're going to find yourself eating key lime pie, watching fireworks over the water, and maybe finding yourself standing next to somebody that looks an awful lot like Ernest Hemingway. And yes, I may be a bit partial to July because it's my birthday month. I am a 4th of July baby. And so I am a little biased, but I honestly think Key West in July has a whole personality of its own. And if this is a month that you want to explore Key West, let's get into what you can expect. So July is one of those months where I think Key West absolutely comes alive. And one of the things you can absolutely do to enjoy Key West is get out on the water, which brings me to our sponsor of the podcast today, which is Danger Charters. And you can learn more by going over to FunInKeyWest.com /danger. Over there, you can check out their sandbar, snorkel, sunset excursion. One of my personal favorites is the Wind and Wine Sunset Sail. You get to have wine tasting, light appetizers, and enjoy an amazing sunset view from the water. And of course, they also have day trips, snorkeling and kayaking and sailing. So be sure to check that out, FunInKeyWest.com/danger. So back to July and all the fun things that happen in July. It is absolutely full of energy. You are going to be warm. This is a time that a lot of the locals, the tourist season slows down a little bit. And so there's a lot of discounts for locals to enjoy some of the restaurants and activities in town. So you're going to see a lot of that. The days are still a little bit long. We are just on the downward slide, but there's still long days, a lot of time to enjoy sunshine and water and pool time and beach time. There's some really fun festivals out there. So if you're wanting to check those out, stay tuned. We're going to get into that history and, of course, fishing tournaments going on, fireworks for my birthday, and plenty of reasons to duck inside and enjoy some air conditioning. July is also hurricane season, so be prepared. Watch the weather. Keep an eye on the Weather Channel or what other app you use. And if you are flying in or going to be staying in Key West and you're using or have the ability to have travel insurance, always take advantage of that because you just never know about plans being canceled. So let's talk about what July really feels like in Key West. What's happening, what to pack, what to plan ahead for, and how to make the most of it without melting into a puddle on Duval Street. So let's talk first and foremost weather. Yeah, it's going to be warm. You know, the average are in the upper 80s. Sometimes its average is 85 to 89, but the humidity is going to make it feel a whole lot more warm. But the water is going to be great to go out there. Again, like I mentioned, July is in hurricane season, so rain is always possible. It is Florida, so rain is always possible in the afternoon. I would never say it's not always going to be a washout, but in Florida, it's really rare that the rain comes through and the complete day is washed out. You're going to get a passing shower, and then you're going to be able to go back and do whatever you were going to do. Can you trust the weather apps? You can get an idea, but just be cautious. It's summer, it's Florida, it's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, and you're probably going to have an afternoon rain shower. So don't trust those weather apps with all of your heart. So you're going to pack for sunshine, prepare for rain, and emotionally accept that your hair is going to have its own independent thoughts. If anybody has any products that they can suggest, please send them my way. So in packing, again, breathable clothes. Those are going to be your friends. Breathable clothes. Bring that reef-safe sunscreen. If you're not going to be able to pack it, be sure to, when you go buy sunscreen, that it is reef-safe. I would suggest carrying a small umbrella with you. It'll tuck right into your carry-on, or a poncho or a rain jacket. What I found really interesting was I bought a rain jacket, and I thought, oh, this is great. It's lightweight. It wasn't breathable. It's really warm to wear. So my next raincoat is going to be breathable but waterproof. So if you're a better raincoat buyer than I am, send me a link. Let me know what to buy. Plan your outdoor events early in the day. Again, you're going to plan for afternoon rain, and it's going to be a little cooler in the morning than it is going to be in the afternoon. And I always say, build in those air-conditioned breaks. And there's lots of things to do that have air conditioning that lets you escape indoors. The Mel Fisher Maritime Museum, go check that out. Learn all about the salvage, what they're doing, the treasures that they found. Go check out the studios of Key West. Go check out Key West Island Bookstore and lose a little bit of time in an afternoon and check out our Fun in Key West book club and in the bookstore there. You also have the Key West History Museum there at the Custom House, that big red building, brick building there by Mallory Square. The exhibits rotate, so if you were in it last year, probably not the same exhibits, So be sure to check that out. It's air conditioning. I'm plugging that air conditioning, aren't I? Truman Little White House. The Hemingway home is also now air conditioned. How about a long lunch inside somewhere? Just be lazy and take your time. So honestly, one of the best ways to do July is to just stop fighting the heat and start planning around it. You're just going to have to plan. It's going to be warm. So, what kind of wonderful things can we go do? Let me check the chat and see who I can say hi to. And so, if you are here and want to say hi, I will do that. So, why is July really a good time to visit? Again, I've said it's hot. Yes, it's hot. But the water is beautiful and warm. Again, go check out FunInKeyWest.com/danger. Check out all the wonderful things you can do on the water. There's some amazing festivals going on. The island has now picked up its summer rhythm. It's not the holidays, it's a little slower. It has its own feel and its own vibe and its own rhythm. So, July is a great time to visit Key West. If you're just into a slower pace, you love the live music, food events, and some really quirky Key West traditions that we're going to get into. But if you want to be outside and go check out what's happening outside, of course, you have Smathers Beach. You can go out on a sunset sail, snorkeling, paddle boarding, go out on a fishing charter. Maybe you just want to spend an afternoon by the pool and enjoy the sunshine and dip your feet in the cool water. Of course, there's sunset celebration over at Mallory Square. And if you're looking for some shade and air conditioning, this is what I always recommend. Just go down a street, be it Duval, be it whatever street, everybody's air conditioned. Those doors are usually open and that cool air spills out onto the sidewalk. And if you pick up a tune that goes, that sounds interesting, go pop in, grab something cold to drink. Maybe it's a cocktail, maybe it's a mocktail, maybe it's iced tea, whatever. Sit down in that air conditioning under the fan and listen to some live music and meet some new people. So, July is not a month where you try to conquer Key West. You're not getting up at the crack of dawn and rope dropping it and trying to get everything done that you possibly can. This is a month where you wander, you hydrate again, and you snack, you cool off, and then you repeat it all over again. July just has that interesting vibe. One of the things that's happening that is such a fun and cool little festival, and I don't want to belittle it. It's not a little festival. It's an amazing festival, is the Key Lime Festival that started today, and it runs, I think, until the 4th or 5th of July. It runs until July 5th. It runs for 5 days. And you have some amazing events that you can do. You can do key lime pie tastings. You have a sip and stroll, which is so much fun. And there are people who are stops along the way. You have a cup and you get to try the different concoctions that these bartenders have made up that all have a key lime flavor to it. And you vote on which one you thought was the best. I never get picked the winners. I have my favorites, but let me know how you turn out. You have a Hot Wheels race that goes down. You have a key lime pie eating contest. I'll put a link and everything in the show notes about the Key Lime Festival. It's amazing. Be sure to check that out. If you're not able to get there this year, put it on your radar for next year. Come to Key West, enjoy the 4th of July and the Key Lime Festival. It's such a fun thing. Speaking of the 4th of July, there are events up and down the Keys, all for the 4th of July every year. But for this year, I'm a little bit partial to the 4th of July. It is my birthday. You do have events happening over on the Truman Little White House on July the 3rd. They're doing an America's 250th anniversary. And so they're doing a free family-friendly cookout with barbecue and a cash bar. So you can be sure to go check that out if you're in town. The Rotary Club of Key West is doing their annual 4th of July 5K at Higgs Beach, and that's on July 4th. And of course, you're going to be able to go see fireworks and see all kinds of amazing things. So if 4th of July is something that you really want to celebrate in Key West, it's one of my favorite places to have 4th of July celebration and spend a birthday in. Be sure to check it out. And again, I'll put some links in to the whole calendar of events. So we're going to gloss over a lot of them. If you can't be in Key West in the first part of July, consider coming to Key West towards the end of July, specifically July 21st through the 26th. That is Hemingway Days. Yes, there is an actual 5-day festival focused on Ernest Hemingway. And Sloppy Joe's does their annual lookalike contest, and that's scheduled for, I think, the 22nd through the 26th. It's one of the July anchors in Key West outside of the Key Lime Festival. So the Key Lime Festival starts July and Hemingway Days start to end July. So it celebrates, obviously, Ernest Hemingway, his life, his writing, his fishing, and all of the years that he spent in Key West. You usually have literary readings, the lookalike contest, a fishing tournament, a 5K, which is a lot of fun, and the running of the bulls. Let me walk you through some of this. So we've done the 5K. It's usually a sunset 5K. I have not checked again this year to see if it's still a sunset 5K, but it usually ends with free beer. So yes, sign me up. And it was a lot of fun. It's a little warm. It's a lot warm. It's in the evening. It's at sunset. But you know what? You run through Truman Annex. You usually end over at the southernmost resort, and it's free beer. Sign me up. But the Hemingway lookalikes that walk around town, they gather around Sloppy Joe's on the day that they're going to do the running of the bulls. So that corner and that section of Duval is usually blocked off. They have a lot of little things going on. You have all of the Ernest Hemingway lookalikes wandering around. And it all comes to the running of the bulls. They bring out these plastic bulls and they literally walk them around the block. But it sounds so weird, but it's a lot of fun. So if you can actually be in town for the Hemingway Days, I would put that on your calendar at least once. Go check it out. It's so much fun. Of course, you can fish. There's fishing tournaments going on, and lobster mini season is in July. It's the last consecutive Wednesday and Thursday of every July, and this year it's July 29th and 30th. And this is the opportunity, and it's mini season because this is before the commercial pots go in the water for the spiny lobsters. And I think it's a 6 limit per person, according to Monroe County. If you want to go out for mini season, check with those fishing charters and those boat captains, and I can make some connections for you if you want some connections, if you want to go out and explore that and do mini season. That being said, it is going to be busy on the overseas highway as you come up and down because it is mini season. So just plan around that it is going to be busy. And again, there's a lot of things that you can do if it's warm. We talked about some of the places that you go that can have air conditioning. But again, you can shop, pop in and out of stores, go shop. You can obviously go check out the books. There's so much to do that you're not actually having to spend that much time outside if you choose not to. Getting around, again, if you're flying into Key West, don't get a rental car. It's going to be expensive to park it anywhere. It is going to be a hassle to have to find a place to park, so don't do that. Just grab your taxi, Uber, or whatever, and then get to wherever you're going to be because you can easily walk, you can do a ride share, you can rent a bike, you can do a golf cart. Again, though, you're going to have all those parking issues, so maybe you rent a golf cart and seat areas around Midtown, Newtown, wherever, and then turn it back in so you don't have to worry about parking. But be realistic. In July, it's going to be warm if you're going to be doing a lot of walking. So plan to be popping into places to check out for souvenirs or grab an iced coffee or something cool to drink or just window shop inside so that you can go check that out. I love to wander and do all of that. July and August are some of those months that I don't wander as much. So what else is happening in Key West? I've got my list here. And of course, I'm going to have a link to the entire calendar of events for July that you can check out. Comedy at Key West is still running Burgers and Buffett. So it's a lunchtime event with music and nostalgia and comedy. Be sure to check that out. You do have the Key West Farmers Market over at Truman Waterfront. Either check the dates and the times for those. Again, you still have the Sheriff's Animal Farm open house. That's over on Stock Island. And you can see goats and birds and possums and all kinds of animals. There is no charge to go to that, but they do really appreciate cash and donations. Glow Hours at Hughes View up on the roof of the studios is open, I think, Mondays and Tuesdays. Great place for sunset, grab a cocktail, and just take in the vibe, right? We are all missing the little jazz room, and if you are, the American Legion does have Monday night jazz jams, so be sure to check that out. Hemingway in a Funning Way is still playing over at Comedy Key West. Key West Theater is running a few things, including bingo. Ricky Cruz will be, if you know who he is, he's on tour, and he will be coming to Comedy at Key West. You have the first Friday on Fleming, which is from 6 to 9. And Fleming Street has their vendors there, some pop-ups. Go check that out. Key West Theaters also has a magic show, so if you're going to be in town, be sure to check that out. So those are just some of the things that are happening. So even though it's a slower time of year, it isn't necessarily nothing happening. There's always something happening in Key West, right? So July is hot in Key West. Yes, absolutely yes, it is hot. Will your drink sweat? Yes, it will. Will you be forced to or want to duck inside for a cold beverage and some live music? I hope so, definitely. But July is also full of festivals and fireworks and key lime pie and Hemingway lookalikes and lots of warm water and long summer days that just make the island feel extra alive. Whether you're coming to Key West for the Key Lime Festival, the 4th of July, Hemingway Days, Lobster Mini Season, whatever. There's so much to do, and I hope you check out FunInKeyWest.com. While you're over there, go to FunInKeyWest.com/danger to check out Danger Charters. They're our sponsor today. And they offer some really cool excursions. The Wind and Wine Sunset Sail. They have sailing, kayaking, and snorkeling adventures. And of course, you have a sandbar, snorkel, and sunset excursion. So be sure to check those out. While you're over there, one of the other things that we do is I send out a weekly newsletter that keeps you up to date on things that are happening with Fun in Key West and Key West. And I always have a trivia question in that newsletter, and that gets you in the drawing for a swag box. I never say what's in it because it changes every month. It just depends on what I happen to have around. And the winner for the June one, because I always draw the first part of the next month, is Richard Kirkpatrick. So I'll be reaching out to you, Richard, and if you want your name to be considered for a drawing, head over to FunInKeyWest.com and get our newsletter, sign up for our newsletter, and that will get you on the list to get a newsletter every week and a chance to answer a trivia question. You get it right, your name goes into the bowl. I am Michelle with Fun in Key West, and I am so glad that you tuned in today. And if there is something else that you want to know about, feel free to reach out. DM me, say, hey, Michelle, I have these questions, and I'll see what I can do about answering them. In the meantime, you guys have a happy and safe 4th of July, and try to stay cool, and because it's getting a little warm around the country, but you guys stay cool. I appreciate you guys checking in, and you guys have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye. And that, my friend, is July in Key West in a nutshell. Will it be hot? Absolutely. Will your drink sweat right along with you? You bet. But you'll also get festivals, fireworks, key lime pie, Hemingway lookalikes, warm water, and those long, lazy summer days that make this island feel extra alive. Whether you're coming for the Key Lime Festival, the 4th of July, Hemingway Days, or Lobster Mini Season, trust me, there's plenty to love. Speaking of getting out on that gorgeous water, huge thanks to today's sponsor, Danger Charters. Head over to FunInKeyWest.com/danger to check them out. My personal favorite, the Wind and Wine Sunset Sail. Wine tastings, light bites, and a sunset view from the water. Yes, please. They've also got snorkeling, kayaking, sailing, and their sandbar excursion. So go take a look. Again, FunInKeyWest.com/danger. While you're over there, do me a favor at FunInKeyWest.com and sign up for our weekly newsletter. I'll keep you in the loop on everything happening around Key West. Plus, there's a trivia question in every issue. Get it right, and your name goes in the bowl for our monthly swag box. What's inside? Well, that changes every month, so you'll just have to sign up and find out. I'm Michelle with Fun in Key West, and I am so glad you tuned in today. Got a question or something you want me to cover? Send me a DM and just say, hey, Michelle, and I'll do my best to help. Until next time, stay cool, stay hydrated, and happy, and safe. Talk to you later.